Good day. I just finished having a conference with the buyer's mandate. He's asking if my seller has a counter brings. I'll explain it to you. The seller has no account on brings. Brings is a shipper, like G4S. You, as the buyer or gold trader, you have an account to brings. My seller has his own shipper. Okay, that is normal. My seller is a miner. He has a mining license. He has an export license. So he is also going to use his own shipper. Now, I just finished having a conference with the buyer's mandate. This buyer's mandate, I know him. He's been visiting my virtual page on Facebook. I put everything, but he doesn't listen. I will explain to you because he called me just few seconds ago. You, as a being a buyer, whoever buyer's mandate, your buyer has his own account, like G4S or Brinks. Now, so your buyer is buying gold or diamond. So your buyer will send us a letter of intention that he is looking for gold or diamond. How many quantity, the carat he is looking for, and the purity. Because we don't know your buyer. So therefore, your buyer will send a letter of intention called LOI, letter of intent to purchase, on his company letterhead. Most of you, buyer's mandate sanitizing the buyer's letter of intent. That is the reason why your buyer have a difficulty. They are looking for supply. Because if you come to Wilhelmina and then the letter of intent is sanitized, then I will reject you. Why? I would like to know who is the buyer. You don't need to be scared that you're going to be circumvent, because if you're a buyer's mandate, your buyer is responsible paying you. Because we already given you a discount. Okay, now, I will explain to you detail by detail. So, you are a buyer's mandate, whoever listening to me, or you are a buyer, directly, you deal with us. Okay, so when you send a letter of intent, okay, for example, you are sending you are a buyer, you are a gold trader, you are a real buyer. You are sending a letter of intent to your buyer's mandate. That buyer's mandate is trying to sanitize, to remove the buyer. I'm going to reject you. Why? Because I want to know the buyer. Because when I receive the letter of intent, immediately I will call the buyer. Hi, Mr. Buyer, I received letter of intent from Marvin, or from Brian, or from Jacob, or from John, something like that. So the buyer said, okay, yes, Wilhelmina, I am the buyer. So then I will interview the buyer over the Skype live video conference or over the phone. Then I can detect if the buyer is serious or not. Some buyers are changeable mind as well. Some buyers are fickle-minded. We call that fickle-minded. They change their mind. So, yeah, I'm the buyer. Okay. You're the buyer, fine. Welcome. We will deliver, we will supply you because you're hungry of supply. You are a businessman, you are going to resell the gold to your own customer. You are buying a wholesale from the miner who produce gold direct from the land. My seller has a license to mine. He has a business article mine. The government will not give my seller business license and export license. So therefore, you have to follow the terms and conditions of every country. Now, today we are now in the global communication. I'm the one who brought this explanation via live. Now, because I'm just finished talking to the buyer's mandate that his buyer wants to buy gold, bring the gold to Brinks. No. You're mad. We don't know you. Brinks will not entertain. Brinks will not receive the gold if there is no export documentation. So therefore, you're going to have a contract. You're going to have an order. My explanation is just very simple, plain English. So you need to have a contract with us. Your letter of intent is stating, dear Wilhelmina, because I am seller's mandate. I am full authorized. I am going to reject you if you don't meet the criteria, because our full corporate offer is already online on YouTube and on Facebook. After my explanation, I will give you the link below. You click it, there is a full extensive explanation. So I don't need to send you procedure. It's up to you. If you're a buyer's mandate, it's up to you to learn, because you're gonna be paid by your buyer, so you're working for the buyer. I am paid by my seller, so I am responsible explaining what are the necessary requirements that the buyer needs. Right? So the buyer will send me a letter of intent. We will respond to the buyer a letter of acknowledgement from my head office, from my seller. Dear Mr. So-and-so, thank you very much for your interest that you are securing gold through our mandate base in Australia. So, because we gathered your information, Wilhelmina will send you the form to fill in. Company name of the buyer, address, telephone number, the refinery address, etc., and your banking details. Don't worry about your banking details because you are protected by privacy. I will keep your information together with my seller. That's the reason why I'm very, very strict. I patterned the way we Australian. I used to be in real estate. You're buying property, we will gather your information. Okay, when I was in real estate, I work for the principal. We gather the information of the buyer, your Medicare, your passport, your bank statement, your payslip. Right? Have you been to the bank to borrow money to buy the property? Buying gold, exactly the same. Wilhelmina will gather your information. Wilhelmina will ask your business license. Wilhelmina will ask your importation license. Then we will attach that on the contract. We will send it to you because you fill in the form. Now, you need to travel. You cannot just ask us, bring the gold to your destination. We don't know you. We need to meet each other. You need to meet the buyer and the seller. Right. In the office. Don't bring money because you don't need to bring money. You must have a standby capital in your bank account. Okay. So when the seller invites you to Mali or Conakry or whatever destination, right? You are a company guest. You are a valued customer because you are invited. Don't travel with no invitation. Do not. You will be frustrated getting gold. Believe me. I'll take you to Conakry or in Mali. Right. Don't come to Ghana. Ghana is notorious country. There's so many scrupulous sellers over there. There's so many scrupulous pretending to be a seller. I fired all of my sellers in Ghana last year. So don't come to Ghana. Come to Mali or Conakry. I will guide you. Right. So going back, so we will send you the contract. You review the contract. Right. The reason why I'm asking you your business license, that proving that you are really a buyer, proving that you are really serious. You need to show us your importation license. Why? When you bring the gold to your country, you need to declare that. So we are going to determine that you are a real buyer or not. If you provide us your importation license, therefore you are a real buyer. If you provide us that you send us the business license and your passport, therefore you are a buyer. Does that make sense? Now, going back to the price today. The price today is 42,825. Today is February 14. Happy Valentine's. I just finished talking to the buyer's mandate. He doesn't know what he's talking. Okay? He saw my video, but he didn't comprehend. I don't know why he doesn't comprehend. He's American. He didn't comprehend. And I'm going to explain to you so that you will comprehend fully. Now, our price is selling price is tax inclusive. You don't need to pay taxes. The seller does pay his valued added tax to his government. He has to declare that he is going to export to you. Right. So our price is tax inclusive based on the world market. Now, our discount is from 10 to maximum 11%. Now, if you're acting on behalf of the buyer listening to me, you are obliged to pay your broker, your buyer's mandate. And I'm going to pay whoever introduced the buyer to us a referral fee. The seller doesn't give a Spanish fee. I do, out of my consultant fee. because once the seller give a discount to the buyer has to get the profit, because the buyer also has his own cost. The seller pay my work. I'm the one who advertise. I'm the one who do the marketing. Broker doesn't do this like this. No, broker just float around collecting information. We call that information laundering. It's okay because we are now on the global communication. People can search supply. Everybody come to Wilhelmina because I'm the one who responsible marketing. That is the reason why I'm explaining to you. Now, as a buyer, you are required to pay the gold. So therefore, you need to travel with the invitation. Don't bring money because we don't need your money at the moment. You put your money in the bank. Be ready. For example, because the buyer says, the buyer's mandate, my buyer wanted 50 kilos. There's no problem with that. We give you 50 kilos. We will give you maximum 11%. This is rough. You have not signed the contract yet. Whatever the price tomorrow, maybe 44 or 45, 11%. Today is $42,000, 825. 42, 825.92 less 11%. We will give you 11% so that you will get the profit when you resell it to your refinery, because your buyer is a refinery. Your buyer is a jewelry manufacturer. Of course, you need the profit. You need the costing. So even though you get the discount, you still get the handsome profit. Right. So minus 42,825. 92. Our selling price is 38,000. Right. Tax inclusive. Today is February 14. Tomorrow we don't know the price. Maybe it's 43 or 44. Don't bank of this. I'm just giving you a roughly explanation. Once you sign a contract, it is fixed price. Whether down or up, it's fixed. Once you sign a contract. Alright, so you got my point now? You're gonna say, well, Amina, what necessary documentation I need? Of course, you test the gold first, the purity and the carats. You will be given an assay report from the local refinery. Right. After that, you're gonna say, well, Amina, I'm happy. The gold is 95 purity. The carat is 22.52. Something like that. Because in every bar have a different category, because there is a chemical component of the chemical element, like magnesium, lead, silver, and zinc. That is the reason why they have to re-smelt it in order to find out the purity and the carats. So, you got the assay report. You're going to say, oh, what would be the next? My answer is, when are you going to release your payment? Bank to bank. Because the seller would not secure export documentation without export documentation. So now, you're going to release the payment bank to bank. So we are giving you 38,000. Okay? 38,000 times 50 kilos. 1,900,000. Do you have 1,900,000? Do you? Okay? Do you have that? 38,000 times 50 kilos. 1,900,000. I'm sure you're going to say, well, Amina, can you tell your seller, can we pay 50%? That's fine. 50% down payment. Then you pay the balance on the final assay. We'll do that. In condition, we will ask you a full guarantee that you will not default the balance of the payment. Okay? The balance is 950,000 on 25 kilos. You pay that because the 50 kilos, you pay the 25 kilos of 50%, which is 950, right? So, you are giving the gold, the 50 kilos, the seller will come to you together with you because you have not paid the 25 kilos. So we will ask the guarantee from you that when the seller travel with you, you guarantee that the seller's life is safe. We ask your guarantee that you are not going to default the payment. Why? December 5, my seller's comrade from Conakry was murdered in Dubai, was poisoned by the buyer, an Indian Pakistani national. Right. There are so many seller who has been murdered when he come to your destination. And you as well, you come to Africa, you were also been screwed. Why? Because you are dealing with a scrupulous agent. They are cutting corner. Do not cut corner. You buy the gold to a licensee because the seller will give you export documentation that the gold is free of illegal activities. The gold will be given to you as an attestation, and you are given a declaration that gold is been Assay, and gold, you pay the gold to the seller, and custom clearance, and the air withheld, because the 50 kilos has to be shipped it to your destination. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, my buyer have a brings. That's fine. We will hand over the gold to Brinks because you have the account to Brinks. And the seller will insure the gold because 2014 there was a hijack. When I was in Dubai, I was sitting down on the airport, there was a hijack diamond coming from Africa. When the diamond arrived in Europe, it was been hijacked in the hand of Brinks. So this is not an easy business. That is the reason why I explained to you so that both buyers and seller would not be losing their products. You might lose your money as well. Don't trust the shipper. We will insure everything. That is the reason why we need to have a guarantee from you that you are not going to default the payment. We will ask the guarantee that if the good arrive in Dubai or in Europe, the seller will come home alive. Because there's so many scrupulous buyer. You never know you're a mafia. You never know you're a criminal. There was such a seller from Sierra Leone. He brought his diamond to New York and he was being held up by the buyer himself. And the seller, poor African, he came returned to Sierra Leone empty-handed. He lost his $5 million worth of diamond. So now, I'm telling you, I'm exposing a dirty tricks of the buyer as well. That is the reason why people is scared with me. That is the reason why I said, oh, I know Wilhelmina. I don't like to deal with Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina is mean. What do you mean I'm mean? I am telling you the truth. So you don't need to cut corner. If you're a real buyer, you have money, you pay for it. There's a buyer said, oh, bring gold to Hong Kong. Why? Why are we gonna bring Hong in the airport? I don't know you. Chinese are also scrupulous. There's a lot of Chinese mafia. Yeah. There was a news 2009. A seller from Congo was murdered in China. In the hotel. So, today to 2018, I said to my seller, you have been ripped off. 2018. Both buyers and sellers are ripping each other. They're cutting corners. You don't need to cut corners. You pay for it. In Australia, our tax is 10%. That is normal. So the seller is paying taxes on that product. So you pay for the gold. There is no LC. There is no letter of credit. There is no SBLC. If you cannot afford the 1,900,000, start 10 or 20 kilos. You start a trial. Then when you're happy, you increase it. You increase 50, 100, 300, 500. You need to build your credibility with my seller. I know you're going to say, well, Amina, I never traveled to West Africa. Africa is nice. I've been there. I am not African. I am Australian. I was born in the Philippines, but I am Fardin Kamosi. I went there. My seller invited me, right, in order for me to see with my two eyes. There's so many foreigners that were stranded. They're all brokers. I even met them in the hotel. So, oh, I'm the buyer. So when I ask them question, they are not a buyer. The buyers give them money to travel, to buy gold, and then these overspend the money and they cannot return to their country. Mostly are Americans. Yes. And I said to them, my goodness, guys, you lied to your buyer. Today, Mr. Buyer, you don't need a broker. Come with Wilhelmina. Come. Come with Wilhelmina. I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you will get the gold. Why? I know my seller. I will take you there. I will arrive the day before you arrive. Just like when I was in Ghana. I will tell you. I traveled to Ghana and then I arrived before Mr. Eric Blasco arrived from Mexico. I already done my homework. And when he arrived in Ghana, he screwed me. Today you cannot screw Wilhelmina. And then he tried to screw my seller. During the time, the gold was 24 million, that is 50 kilos. He doesn't have the money. And I'm lucky I was very smart. If I wasn't on the ground, my seller will lose his 24 million. Eric Blasco screwed me in Ghana. And I have an argument with Eric Blasco. He's a Mexican. But this woman, do not double cross with this woman because I'm very, very, very smart, very straightforward. Okay? I will call the police if you do mucking around with my seller. And if my seller mucking around, I will also call the police to help you. So that is why you need Wilhelmina. Now, you're going to say, Wilhelmina, I love this gold. I want to travel with you. Yes. Wilhelmina, you're going to be charged by Wilhelmina's extra service. Extra airfare, hotel accommodation, and a little bit of spending money. Why? When I was in Ghana, I buy food to a local miner, a gesture of goodwill. Right? So when I go to the ground, I go to the mines. You don't need to go to the mines. You don't need if you're scared. I will go to the mines because I am invited by the seller together with you. But if you come with me on the mines, that is perfect. But most of the foreigners are scared to travel. Me, I'm not scared. I know how to handle it. So I buy food to the community like rice, coffee, sugar, water, bread, etc. as a gesture of goodwill. You, as a foreigner, you don't do that gesture of goodwill. That is the reason why you have a hard time to get the supply. When I was in Ghana, I bought bread, I bought chicken. On the main road, there's a vendor. I bought them all. I bought one loaf of bread that is 2 cedis, big loaf of bread. Okay, I think I bought 100 loaf of bread. That is very cheap. And water. When I brought that to the worker loves me. That is the reason why I said, oh, this is a very good gesture of goodwill. So the seller opened their arms. Well, Amina, thank you for coming. Well, Amina, thank you for educating us. Thank you for protecting us. You as the buyer, I am going to protect you as well. Both. Because the seller hired me to market the products. So I am going to guide you and give you the full details. Now, how are you able to get the gold? I will give you the link on the bottom. Don't rush. Don't come to Wilhelmina if you are not a buyer. You read first what necessary you need before we will send you the contract, before we will send you a cable visa as an invitee. If you don't meet the requirement, at least you listen to Wilhelmina. You only come for conference if your buyer is real, if you are acting on behalf of your buyer as a broker. Now, Mr. Buyer, if you're a real buyer, come to me. Yes, I will take you to West Africa. Don't be afraid. I will travel ahead of time and I will meet you in the airport together with my seller, with the driver. So then you feel comfortable. I know you're going to be scared because you're a foreigner. I am also a foreigner, but I'm not going to be scared. Because my seller said, oh, Wilhelmina, thank you for bringing the buyer. But my extra service is not for free. I've given you already extra service on live video conference and on YouTube. So therefore, you're going to learn out of my explanation. Is there any such broker explaining to you like this? Now, a few minutes ago, as I've said to you, a buyer's mandate asking me to buy, asking me if we could supply gold bullion. I did explain to him, gold bullion is already refined. Gold bullion have already a serial number and hallmark. Without Dory bar coming from, without dust gold and gold bar coming from the local miner, there would be no gold bullion. When the gold refined to the refinery, it stays on the vault. So the owner of that gold bullion, he is going to resell it. He's going to trade it. So we are not selling gold bullion. If you want to buy gold to make into gold bullion, yes, we will provide you gold bars to make into gold bullion. That's a very good question. I'm going to give you the answer. Now, if you're gonna smelt into gold bullion, our discount is not 11% anymore because we are giving you an extra gram, which is 300 grams. It's money. To buy gold on the ground is $42.80 per grams as today's price. But we will run up, we will give you $42 per gram. But you are not paying the 300 grams. We will give you an incentives on the trial because we don't know how much the gold will shrink when you smelt into gold bullion. Now our discount is 8%. We will give you 1.2 grams in one bar, 1,200 grams in one bar, maximum of 1.3 in one bar, 1,300 grams in one bar. When you're gonna resell it, when you're gonna refine it, exactly 1,000 kilograms, pure, because the chemical element has been removed. How do I know? I sold gold my buyer from Australia, and he delivered the gold to Aurora, right? 1 kilo was smelted, turned to 99.0, which is 996.5 on the final assay. When I looked at on the final assay report, I was given a copy. So, oh, yes, it's true, the gold shrink. So then I go back to my seller that the gold will shrink if the buyer wants to buy gold bullion. If you are going to make into jewelry, you only need 1,000 grams in one bar. You get my point now? So that's anybody explaining to you? None whatsoever. I am explaining you so that you will understand. Now, I know that you don't have 1,900,000. I don't know if you have. Maybe I underestimate you, but forgive me if I say this. I would like to encourage you to start 10 or 20 kilos. To start to build that credibility with my seller. Then the following week, you increase 150 because you already trust each other. Does that make sense now? So I think I explained it to you properly. Now you're going to say, send me the procedure. No, I'm no longer to send you a procedure. You just go below and click on the link. Take time. You read, comprehend it properly. If you come and send the letter of intent on your buyer's company letter, meaning to say you understood, meaning to say you read the full corporate offer. Don't come to Wilhelmina if you said, oh, Wilhelmina, send me a letter of intent. No. Wilhelmina, send me the procedure. No. The letter of intent is coming from you. The full corporate offer is online. On this video, on the bottom. Click on the bottom. So I don't need to send it. I give it to you everything. So what you need, convince us. Letter of intent. Well, Amina, I saw you on YouTube. Well, Amina, I read your full corporate offer on Facebook. You take time. Don't be excited because this business is not an excitement business. It's not. This is a very risky and very tricky business. Yes, it is. We have gold and diamond. Africa is the huge continent. Africa, huge deposit of gold, gas, a diamond, iron, coffee, cocoa, and so forth. So I am giving you a very, very comprehensive information. It's up to you to understand. It's up to you to register that into your mind. Is there any broker explaining to you? No. Most of the broker, they come to my page. A day, my visitors is 3,000 visitors. It's okay. That's why we are now on the my Facebook is an information center. Everything is in there. We we only entertain if you understand what you are looking for. We have the supply. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. Do not come to Wilhelmina, send me the procedure. Therefore, you are not paying attention. You're not. You are not paying attention because the procedure is online. You listen to the video, you read to the procedure, then you make your final decision. Then you're going to say, well, Amina, I read your comprehensive full corporate offer. I want to travel next week. Okay. Well, Amina's extra service is not for free. If you don't want to pay Wilhelmina's extra service to travel with you, you travel. I will arrange. Then my head office will entertain you. But if I am not on the ground, if there would be an issue, I cannot help you. It's better you take Wilhelmina because if there is an issue, I can sort it out. You need a very good negotiator. If you have a good negotiator, both parties are happy. Yes, I used to work in real estate. My job is to be a good negotiator. I negotiate with the developer to bring the listing to my principal's office. I left real estate. I diverted into gold bullion because this is a very, very lucrative business. Very. You get the handsome profit. I'll give you an example. If you have 1,900,000 on 50 kilos, 1,900,000, let's say 1 million. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put that into term deposit. In the bank, the interest rate is 3.5%. So you get the interest rate of 30. This is the interest rate on your 1 million. Let's say 1 million, 3.5% per annum, right? Per annum. Now, when you invest in gold, because you're a trader, you get the profit of net 7% every week. Okay? You multiply that 12 months. 7 times 12. Okay? Your profit is 84%. Which one you like? 3.5 or 84% a year? Huh? Tell me. Which one you like? Gold is an investment. Where the Bitcoin coming from? From the miner. My seller produced gold. My seller has a concession. My seller has a license to mine. He paid taxes to his government. So you are buying to my seller. Of course you pay the gold. It's not for credit. It's not for C.I.F. It's not LC. It's not BLC. What on earth you asking for C.I.F? Cost, insurance, and freight. Who is going to pay for that? So therefore you don't have the money. So therefore you're going to leverage it. Right? Why are you going to leverage? You're going to resell it to the refinery. The refinery will pay you. And then you pay my seller. It wouldn't work. You lay out the capital first before you get the profit. If that makes sense. I had a buyer from Gold Coast. And they were searching for gold. Yeah, I will not mention his name. And he sent me his sophisticated email. They have a website. I look at his website. They are also a trader. They buy and sell. So they sent me a letter of intent. On my conversation, he said they are the buyer. On the letter of intent, they have the buyer. So therefore, he is not a buyer. He's asking for LC. Bring it to Dubai. No. Who's paying for the gold? Which guarantee you're gonna guarantee that the seller will be paid? Can you guarantee the 50 kilos or 1,900,000 that you are going to pay? You never know, you are going to default the payment. It happened. So the refinery in Dubai is going to smelt the gold on his terms, whatever the purity, then he is going to pay that particular trader. Then he pay my seller. No, my seller would not give his gold. You pay for the gold before the gold leave the country. Because the seller is going to pay taxes on that product. That is valued goods. Yeah, in Dubai there is now an importation tax. So both buyers and seller has to pay export and importation tax. So you are not paying the taxes anymore. You pay for the price, tax inclusive. We're selling 38,000, right? Take it or leave it, you can have the gold. If not, at least you watch this woman. Yeah. So I hope I give you the answer. I just finished talking to this buyer's mandate from United States few seconds ago. Two brokers. I listened to their buyer's needs, very simple. And I told them, okay, you go back and read our full corporate offer. Then when you are ready, you come back to LME. Simple as that. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy watching me. By the way, I would like to wish you a happy Valentine. Today is February 14, 2018. Well, Amina is very kind and accommodating. Don't be scared with this woman. This woman is very honest and straightforward. Because I was being screwed before. No one will screw both of us. You follow, you get the supply. If you don't buy. Simple as that. Thank you very much and have a nice, pleasant, oh, it's already good afternoon. It's already, yeah, it's already 12:25 in the afternoon in Australia. I live in Queensland. Thank you very much again and happy Valentine. Enjoy your loved one and I shall see you on conference on Skype. Thank you.